forward, I'll no longer be Devin XO, I'll be Devin Summers.
Who are you?
I am Devin Summers. I was originally Devin XO, but I found a name change kind of necessary just because I felt like I've kind of outgrown who Devin XO was, and I felt like as Devin XO I only had one perspective or one way of telling essentially my story, and I wanted to create music that was a bit more varied and could be told, it could have various different perspectives being told. So I chose Devin Summers, but it just felt like Devin XO was starting to feel like an old suit that just was too tight. Like I outgrew that suit. I had another saying for how I felt about Devin XO, but it's kind of strange. It was like I shed that skin, but that's just weird. Thinking about a human shedding a skin is just very alien-like, and it's just, so we're gonna go with the suit analogy. So it felt like a suit that was just too tight, and I just outgrew the suit. So we got to hang it up and move on to the next suit that's all white, fits like a glove, with a pink tie and some brown shoes. I got this laid out. Exactly what I'm going for. So I always had an interest in music. So when I was like 9 or 8, I was playing the violin. I was terrible at it. And then I started playing the sax. I was good at it, but then I quit to learn Spanish, which never stuck, even though I'm Colombian and Haitian. But yeah, so then I started learning the piano, but then I lost interest in it. And then I started rapping at 13, and then I just kept rapping afterwards. And then 17 started producing. I didn't really start getting extremely serious with music until probably this year, honestly. I've been telling myself that I've been serious with music, but the reality is it's kind of just been like a hobby that I didn't take. I had a lot of other things that had my attention opposed to music. So like surfing the internet, watching YouTube videos, and screwing around instead of just making songs. So
you have like a really interesting personality.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you incorporate your personality in your music? Like how do you make yourself stand out?
I think it's kind of the vibe of the overall music. A lot of the music is very, very bright. So a lot of my music sounds like kind of what you're seeing now, like an open, sunny day. Or it just kind of feels like you're being wrapped in a blanket. So it's very comfy. So I like creating music that makes people feel good. I stand out in terms of like how I present the music. So a lot of the music is presented in very bright, colorful visuals, very summertime-esque, very happy, like a warm summer day.
How did you get to Columbus, Ohio? How do you fit into the Columbus, Ohio scene? Do you want to fit in the scene? What's the vibe?
I came here for school, so I came to go to OSU. Then I graduated, and then after I graduated, like probably like two years after I graduated, then I started releasing music more consistently. Then in terms of the Columbus scene, I feel like I'm not as a part of it. I feel like I've become more of an outlier just because I've been focusing more on my own music. So I'm kind of more of like I'm like the distant cousin that comes to visit once in a while. So that's kind of how I am within the scene. I still support people. People know who I am, but I don't think people really when they think of Columbus music within the scene themselves, I'm not really one of the first people that come up, because I'm not as in the scene as other people. So that's gonna change, because I'm gonna start collaborating with a lot more people.
So what was the inspiration behind your latest project?
So the next project is going to be coming out later on in the year. Kind of one thing I wanted to experiment with moving forward as a result of my name change is I want to create music within seasons. And then at the end of that season, I drop a full project. So during that season, I'm just dropping a bunch of music and a bunch of content. So the season as of right now is Comfy. So the next project is going to be called Comfy. And the inspiration of around that, just kind of like thinking about how my music makes people feel. So my music makes people feel very warm, like very comfy, very comfortable. So the inspiration behind it is a lot of there's this like retro, what is it? How do I explain it? So there's this like this genre of music in Japan from the 80s that's been sampled a lot by like vaporwave, and it's basically old 80s Japanese pop music that sounds like you're standing on a beach in the middle of the summer just watching the waves roll in. It's just bright, it's bubbly, it's very colorful. Other people that are kind of inspiring music are like Tyler, the Creator. Prince has always been a huge inspiration for my music. Dogs are always a big inspiration. Because they're fluffy and they're cute.
Your photo shoots, like, do you plan all your photo shoots? Like, that's all your idea? That's all you?
It's just kind of like, we'll see what happens type of a thing. For the most part, if you're talking about my video shoots, those are a little bit more planned. But my photo shoots are just kind of like, meet me here, let's see what happens. I should plot them out more. Like the stuff that I did with, example, there's a photographer that I recently worked with by the name of Kahan. I kind of told him the vibe I was going for, and then we met at the Park of Roses, and then those photos were just those photos, and he just kind of captured the kind of feeling that I wanted, just because like he's really good at doing that. So for the most part, my photo shoots are more like open. My video shoots are more planned, just because there's a certain feeling that I want people to get when they watch those things. So those are a little bit more planned. Learning to not take people for granted, learning to appreciate what you got, learning to not beat yourself up, learning to not chase perfection because it's impossible. It's going to leave you stuck in a gridlock of never moving forward. So, as the camera pans. Not harping on the past and not letting fear dictate your actions. Like attacking fear, learning to attack fear is something that a lot of people should start getting into, because so many people are stuck on the fear of what other people think and how other people are going to feel, and then it colors the decisions they make, and then what they want to do gets pushed further down the line because they say, oh, I don't want to disappoint this person, I don't want to make this person angry. But those people, if they really understood who you were and understood the growth you're trying to make, would understand what you're doing and wouldn't get mad at you, and they would get over what it is that they got upset about in the first place. If they harp on that, then they're not meant to be around you at all, and they're nothing but an ankle weight on you that you need to release. Here, don't chase perfection, chase growth. Don't take people for granted and appreciate what you got, because it can be gone tomorrow and then you realize, oh man, that was nice and I don't have it anymore. And don't be a dick to people. Be a kind person. Don't Don't be a terrible person, especially in the music industry, because it's small and people talk. So if you're a terrible person to one person, they're going to tell that to another person, and then that's going to color their view of you. When you meet that person, that's the first thing they're going to think about you.
Disappointments. I know we were talking a lot of positivity, but like, any disappointments?
I don't know, not really, because I've looked past the disappointments and I don't want to focus and harp on them. So no disappointments. Because every disappointment is a learning curve. Everything that's disappointed you or everything that you failed at is going to be something that's going to build you up. So I think disappointment would probably be the incorrect word, opposed to like what has been your learning experience. So learning to not take people for granted, learning to appreciate what you got, learning to not beat yourself up, learning to not chase perfection because it's impossible. It's going to leave you stuck in a gridlock of never moving forward, not harping on the past, and not letting fear dictate your actions. Like attacking fear, learning to attack fear is something that a lot of people should start getting into, because so many people are stuck on the fear of what other people think and how other people are going to feel, and then it colors the decisions they make, and then what they want to do gets pushed further down the line because they say, oh, I don't want to disappoint this person, I don't want to make this person angry. But those people, if they really understood who you were and understood the growth you're trying to make, would understand what you're doing and wouldn't get mad at you, and they would get over what it is that they got upset about in the first place. If they harp on that, then they're not meant to be around you at all, and they're nothing but an ankle weight on you that you need to release. So yeah.
Freestyle off the dome.
Red fish, blue fish, one fish, two fish. That's all I got. That's all you get for free. All right, y'all, I'm Devin Summers.